Good day to each and everyone, most especially to our brilliant Dean, our Science 1 instructor, Ma'am Glenny Rivera, PhD. Good day to you, Ma'am. By the way, my name is TD Jonathan TDS, and I am here to discuss the facets of science, the insights and reflection about the facets of science, the activity, the processing skills, and the scientific attitude. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go! Facets of science. Science is a broad body of knowledge. It is because when we say science, it is broad and have different parts or branches, such as life science, chemistry, physics, earth science, social science, and more. A broad body of knowledge because each of those branches contains different fields that requires long time process to master. Science as a set of skills. This because science are everywhere. Every simple movement that we do, every choice that we have, we are applying scientific skills. Science literate people are the one who have these scientific skills the most, like observing, classifying, measuring, inferring, predicting, communicating, and using number of relations. Science as an intellectual activity. It is because we humans are living things or mammals that have this IQ percentage designed to discover information and collect facts about the world and organize it into meaningful patterns. Science as a social activity. This is because scientists or individual or normal people or let us say those um, individuals who doesn't study science rely on each other for results, samples, techniques, and many other things. Their interactions are often cooperative and sometimes it is competitive to achieve the common good of all and in the future generation. Science as a problem solving. It is because ordinary people and scientists will use their critical thinking and analytical thinking or the scientific methods as a series of steps to assess or solve problems in ourselves, to the community, and to the world. Through that, it is also an opportunity to discover. Science as a career. Science as a career is a daring and skillful career since it requires high percentage of IQ, selected values and attitudes. Hence, it is one of the very in-demand and high payable jobs in the world. Science as a global human endeavor. This because humans are striving hard to improve their understanding and explanations about the natural world, and by evidence, they keep on working to find or make something new. Science as a process. The last but not the least is because we observe objects and events around us using all our five senses. by following the scientific method, and this is how we learn about the world around us. The ability to make good observations is also essential to the development of the other scientific processing skills, like observing, classifying, measuring, inferring, predicting, communicating, and using number relationship to come up a better result in this field of science. Okay, so now let's proceed to the insights and reflections. Science as a broad body of knowledge. As we can see, there is a tree, an image of a tree, and its branches. So science itself is the tree, and these branches are the specific fields that has different types of or has different aspects like chemistry, physics, biology, earth science, and space science. That's why science is a broad body of knowledge since it requires a wide range of capacity. Science as a set of skills. As we can see in the picture, there are or there is a man who is searching, or let us say observing. That is one of a scientific skill or science processing skills. Measuring, classifying, inferring, predicting, communicating, and using number relations. So that is the science as a set of skills. Science as an intellectual activity. So when we say intellectual, from the word intellect, which we are using our minds in order to come up with a better result. So, for example, um, just like in the picture, there are four persons which has different mindsets. The other one is using the books, reading, measuring. The other one is painting and mixing chemicals. The other one is um, playing, using instruments like that. So since science is everywhere, so science is an intellectual activity. Science as a social activity. So when we say social, from the word social, it is the community, our interaction, the interaction of the scientist with its community. So when we say social activity, it is global, here, there, and everywhere. So science is everywhere, a social activity. Science as a problem solving. So when we say problem solving, it is a step, or we are following a step by step, or we are using our critical thinking, our analytical thinking. Scientists or those normal person, those who are not a science literate person, they are also using those steps or those methods in order to solve problems. So science is a or science as a problem solving. That it is. That is it. And now let's proceed to science as a career. So science as a career is a very in-demand skill. Science as a career produce practical knowledge, science as a career, um, develop our analytical skills, thinking skills. Science as a career has a higher salary, and that is one of the reasons why it has a higher salary. Why it has a higher salary? Because it's a daring and very skillful career. The science in the field of science. Science as a global human endeavor. As you can see in the picture, here and everywhere, there, over the other countries, they are keep on searching, striving for the common good, for the humanity. So that's why science is a global endeavor for us to live, um, easily. They are striving hard for that. And last but not the least, the science as a process. As we can see in the picture, there is a line, there is a starting line from a question mark up to the key points or going into the result or the answer. So it is a process from observation to classification, measuring, inferring, communicating, and using the number relationships. Just like that. Using our critical thinking, analytical thinking to solve problems. But it has a process, a step-by-step, a series of steps to assess our problem or to assess our daily needs. Something like that. And that's all for my reflection. And then let's proceed to activity. Physical and chemical change. That is my topic. So when we say physical and chemical change, chemical changes occurs when a substance combines with another to form a new one. And physical change is a change in which no new substance are found. And substance is a material or matter of which something is made. Okay, and the activity is we are going to identify who undergo chemical or physical change from the given example and explain it why. So, these are the example. Burning of wood, shredding of paper, melting of an ice cube, ripening of fruits, mixing water and oil, rooting of fruits. Okay? So, let us define first burning of woods, or let us find out if burning of woods is a chemical or physical change. So when we say burning of woods, from the word woods, it is a substance or it is a one substance. So when we burn woods, what will happen? It will become ashes. So I will ask you, does the ash still a wood or remains a wood? No, it doesn't, because ash is different from woods, right? So it means burning of woods belongs to chemical change. Next example is shredding of paper. So when we shred paper, what will happen? it will become a piece from a whole, right? So a piece from a whole does make the paper, does the substance of a paper change? Excuse me. It does not. But the physical appearance of a paper from a whole is different because it just it is now a pieces of paper, right? From one whole to pieces of paper. So there is no change from the substance because it is still a paper. So shredding of paper belongs to physical change. Okay, let's proceed to the next example. Ripening of fruits from raw to ripe. What is the process of that? Or it is a chemical change or physical change? It is a chemical change because from the substance of a raw fruit, it became a ripe fruit. So from green to yellow. One of the definition of a chemical change is if it changes a color from the original to another color. Okay, so ripening of fruits belongs to chemical changes. Proceed in melting an ice cube. So when we melt ice cube, it will become water. And what is the composition of an ice? It is made from water, right? A frozen water. So when we melt an ice cube, it will become water. So there is a changes or there is no changes. There is no changes because water or ice is made of water. And then when we melt the ice cube, it came back to water. So it has no substance being formed, or there is no substance, no new substance being formed. So melting an ice cube is a physical change because the definition is if physical change occurs if there is no new substance being formed. Melting of food. So what is the change? It is a chemical change or physical change? It is a chemical change from ripe food or from raw food. It became a rooting or root food. Daot nga pagkaon. So since it changes a color and it changes its smell, it undergoes or it it undergoes a chemical changes. So let's proceed to mixing water and oil. So what can you see in the picture? The oil is on the top part and the water is on the bottom part. So where does it belong? In chemical change or physical change? The mixing water and oil belongs to physical change because there is no combining of two substances. As you can see in the picture, they are being put together in one container, but they are separated from one another. The oil is on the top part and the water is on the bottom part. So, mixing water and oil belongs to physical change. So now, chemical change the examples belong to chemical change are rotting of wood, burning of woods, ripening of fruits. And in physical change, shredding paper, melting an ice cube, mixing water and oil. So now, let's identify or let's identify what are the processing skills being used in the activity. I put there observation because we observe the examples from what is the original color and what is the original composition. And then classifying. We classify after we observe, we classify if it is a chemical or a physical change. And then inferring because we give conclusion each of those samples. So now let's proceed to the scientific attitudes that being used for this task. I put here determination because despite of the situation, we keep always the balance and go on the go, or I keep always the balance and go on the go. Skepticism. Don't trust or believe without proofs. Take a step to know something. And then, last but not the least, the intellectual honesty. All I got is what I got. So, those are the scientific methods that I use or I put here because it is the most, or that is the scientific attitudes I being used the most. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Have a good day. Thank you and goodbye.